Hi, I'm Willie. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And in this video, we are going to do a very basic setup of the Synology DS1525 Plus. We're going to make a couple best practices tweaks, and then we are going to talk about, well, I'll probably lace it throughout the rest of this video, but all of the future content that we are going to do. So this video does assume that you've already taken your Synology out of the box, you've already put the hard drives in, you have already plugged it into the network and plugged it into the power. So once you've done that, let's go ahead and proceed. All right, so you took your Synology out of the box, you put the hard drives in, plugged it into your network, plugged it into the power, powered it on, and waited for the beep. So what do you do next? Well, you're going to open Chrome, and you're going to go to find.synology.com. It may redirect you to this finds.synology.com, and then you're going to see your Synology NAS right here on the screen. You can see I've got the 1525 Plus, and DSM is not installed. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click Connect. It's going to come up. It's going to give us the EULA, or the End User License Agreement for Synology. Feel free to read through this. It talks about some important things in there. After you've read that, you can click I have read and agree to the EULA, and then click Next. And now it's going to pull up the screen where we're going to get started. So welcome. Set up your Synology DS1525 now. We can also click Device Info to see a little bit more device information, and we're going to hit install. Now right here, if you had downloaded DSM manually for this device, you could browse to that and install it. I recommend letting your NAS automatically download the latest DSM from the Synology website. So we're going to click next on that, and I have 4 drives in this unit, 4 4-terabyte drives, and it's telling me, hey, we're going to wipe all the data from these drives. And I am going to say, I understand, and continue. It's going to give me another warning. So now I have to enter the model number to do this, and it is DS1525. I'm going to hit delete. And now it is going to format those drives, or at least wipe the data off of them. It's going to go out. It's going to pull the latest version of DSM. It says it will only take a few minutes to complete, and do not turn off the power. I've never had the power go out. I've never turned the power off during this process, so I can't tell you exactly what would happen, but I can tell you that it would likely not be good. So if you've got storms in the area and you don't have a battery backup, I would probably skip this part, right? Better to be safe than sorry. But saying that, even on a clear sunny day, power could go out. Power could go out while I am recording this, and in my office I have no battery backup. I do where this 1525 is plugged into, so we'll see what happens. It's already at 60%, so I'm just going to pause this. Now it says it's going to restart, and it's going to be ready in approximately 10 minutes. So we are going to wait the 10 minutes, and we will continue the video after that. All right, so that didn't quite take 10 minutes. It took about 3 to 4, but your mileage may vary on that. And the screen came up, and it is installing built-in packages and launching the built-in packages. So we're going to go over a few best practices things that you should do once this NAS is online. I want to thank Synology for sending this over. I don't know how much RAM is in this one yet, so we'll have to wait until we can get the system information up here. And I don't know how long this is going to take, so we'll pause this and be right back. So literally as soon as I paused it, it came up. All right, so if you had a backup from another device, you could restore it right here. This restore your device. We're going to start new, so we're going to go ahead and hit start. We're going to call our device, and you can call your device whatever you want, right? This is your device. Call it whatever. I'm just going to call this Lab 1525 because we are going to be doing a lot of configuration examples with this particular device. All of our courses, all of our videos are going to be based around this device. So lab 1525, I'm just going to put lab admin here, and I'm going to put a password it's probably going to consider weak, and that's okay because it's just our lab password. I better write this down. Lab admin is the username, and down here we can click this box to allow the NAS to be displayed in the web assistant. So Synology will collect the IP address and port information which will only be used for providing web assistance service. I'm going to go ahead and skip that for this. You can feel free to experiment. Okay, our next option is select an update option for your Synology NAS. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell it to auto update DSM in all packages to important versions. And it says the system will automatically install updates that have fixed critical security issues and bugs to protect your NAS. That's what we're going to go with. So if we go with latest versions, that could cause an issue. But if we do important versions, that's like our security fixes. So we'll click next on that. Now it wants us to bind this to our Synology account. I highly recommend that you do that. It will allow us to do some of the secure sign-in things. I am actually going to do this later in a separate video. So I'm going to click skip for now. And then here Synology is asking if they can collect device analytics to help improve the experience and improve devices. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to let Synology take those. We're not doing anything where this data is going to be super secret or I can't share it. So I'm just going to click agree to that and hit submit. And it'll give them a little better insight into how things are being used, if there's issues. Now, when this screen first loads, it's going to tell us, you can access your files securely from anywhere. How do you want to do that? Do you want to install Synology Drive Server, Synology Office, and Synology Photos? That's actually going to be an entirely separate set of videos, how to install and manage those. So I'm going to say no thanks. We do have the option to extend our warranty. I'm going to skip that for now. And at the moment, I am not going to enable two-factor authentication because that is also going to be a separate video talking about the different types of multi-factor or two-factor authentication. So I'm going to hit remind me later. And they're going to guilt us. They're going to try to shame us to turn that on. I'm going to hit I don't want to secure my account for now. And I'm going to say OK. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to create a storage pool and volume. So I'm going to hit create now. The wizard's going to come up. It's going to ask us what type of RAID we want to use. Do we want to use Synology Hybrid RAID, Synology Hybrid RAID 2, which is, so Synology Hybrid RAID is effectively RAID 5, where you get one redundant disk, where one disk in your however many disks you have can fail and the NAS will continue to function normally. SHR2 is like RAID 6, where two drives can fail and the NAS will still continue to function normally. What happens when you select either SHR or RAID 1 or RAID 5 or SHR2 and RAID 6, what happens is that you lose the capacity of however many drives can fail and the NAS can still function. So in this example, I have four 4 terabyte drives. So my theoretical maximum storage capacity of this device is roughly 16 terabytes raw. Now, if I do SHR or RAID 5, we can knock one of those off there because now we have that redundant disk. So now my theoretical maximum is 12. And if I select SHR2 or RAID 6, now I only have 2 drives available that are not the redundant drives. And you also have to remember RAID is not a backup. We're going to get into backups in another series of videos. So I am going to do RAID 5 for this. There are other RAID types available here, like RAID 1, which is mirroring across the drives. I'm glad to see they don't have RAID 0 here. That might be what basic is. Oh, they do have RAID 0, which is, so RAID 0 would combine your drive storage, but it just stripes across the drives. There's no redundancy. So any drive failure in a RAID 0 is going to cripple your NAS. It will be unusable. JBOD allows you to use different disks of different sizes and combine them into a giant storage pool. There is no redundancy or fault tolerance with JBOD, which stands for just a bunch of disks. Basic, you can start with this and then you can migrate to RAID 1 or RAID 5. RAID 10 combines the benefits of RAID 1 and RAID 0. You can read more about these. I typically, depending on what I'm going to use, I either use a RAID 5 or a RAID 6. We may use a RAID 1 if we need super high performance, or we will use a RAID 10 if we do need redundancy, but we need super high performance. So if you've got any questions about those, you can ask me. I'm going with what I typically use. I'm going to go with RAID 5. Our storage pool is going to be called the Lab Storage Pool. Next, I'm going to select all 4 of my drives, so you can see now I am only going to have a capacity of 10.9 terabytes only, right? Because one of these drives is going to be used as that fault-tolerant drive. So I'm going to click Next here. We're going to hit Max so we can use all of the gigabytes available. We'll call this Lab Volume. Next. Now it wants to know which file system we want to use for this. So ext4 is a fantastic operating system. It's normally used with Linux. Now, if you understand Synology, these devices are running Linux under the hood with all of the Synology goodies on top. Or you can use BTRFS, and if you're going to do snapshots, quotas, anything that we're going to do with advanced data integrity, that is what we are going to use. So we are going to use BTRFS because it's going to be important in a lot of future content. We have the option to encrypt the volume in case this device is lost or stolen. We can do this now. It tells you here, make sure the encryption key vault is available during startup to allow the system to auto unlock the encrypted volume. Encrypting a volume may affect its performance. I'm not going to do that in this video. We will go back and do this in a future content series. I'm going to go next on that, and I'm going to hit apply. It's going to warn us all the things are going to be erased on the drives. We're going to say OK. This is not typically a super fast process, but you can still use the NAS while things are happening. And I'm going to show you that as soon as this screen loads. I don't need help. Well, not Synology help anyway. So this is working in the background to create the storage pool, to create the volume, configure the drives. So give it just a little bit of time here. Okay, so that part is done. You can see all of our drives here, RAID 5 with data protection right here, total capacity of almost 11 terabytes. Now it is optimizing. And it is optimizing the array. Now you're going to watch this time on here, and you're going to see, because I'm not using the device, the time should start, so it just went from 17 hours to 12 hours and 54 minutes, and it's going to get faster as it goes. Now we're down to 10 hours and 14 minutes because I'm not doing anything with this device. We are going to poke around. You can see we're already down to 8 hours. So this is going to go pretty quickly. We don't have a hot spare drive. We could stick a 5th drive in this unit and create that hot spare, but you're going to want it to be the same hard drive. So let's take a look at the hard drives that we have in here. So they are a Synology HAT 3300 4 terabyte drives. If we click on Health Info, it's going to come up. You can see they've been powered on for 0 hours. The drive is sitting at 79 degrees freedom units, 26 degrees Celsius for everyone else in the world. We can look at the history of the diagnosis. We are running smart on these, or we can start a test right now. So we've got 4 of those drives. Right here you can see with the operating system, there are 446.9 megabytes used with 10.4 terabytes free. You can see that we are using 4 drives here. And if we click on that drive, we can actually hit locate drive. We can look, we're already looking at the health info. And you can see that drive number 5 is empty. I do not have M.2s in this unit, although it does support them. Notification setup is going to be future content as well. This is just taking us out of the box, putting the drives in, which you should have already done before you got this far, and just getting a basic setup going with a couple of best practices tweaks. We're going to go ahead and close the storage manager. Looks like there might be some packages. The little red dot up here on that package manager is to get our attention that there's something that needs to be done with the packages. So we're going to go in here. You're going to read those terms of service. We have agreed. We click OK. Now up here under installed, if there's ever a number right here in a blue dot, that means that you have packages that need to be updated. And right here you can see that hybrid share needs to be updated. So we'll go ahead and update that. Now it might take a little longer with everything optimizing the way that it is. So your NAS, while those drive optimization settings are being applied, the NAS is going to be a little slower than it normally would be. So by default with everything we've selected, here are all of our packages that are installed. Nothing crazy here. If you want to install new packages, you go to all packages, and we are going to touch all of these things. All the things. Beta packages, they do have a beta, so if you're not familiar with what a beta program is, it is unreleased software that is in a testing state. It should not be used in production, but if you want to tinker with it and find out what the new features are, you can download beta packages. And so right now you can see the beta packages that are available for this NAS are Bitdefender for Mail Plus, Synology Mail Plus, Synology Mail Plus Server, which videos coming on that as well, Synology Tiering Vault, and Virtual Machine Manager. I cannot wait to show you about Synology Tiering. They are taking this to the next level. Small businesses can use this. Enterprises are going to be able to use this. It's going to be fantastic. So our package center is up and going. The next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go to control panel. And one of the first things I want to do is I want to make sure that the admin account, this built-in admin account, is deactivated so it cannot be used. That's one of the first things that we wanted to do. The system automatically did that when we created the lab admin user. So that is fantastic. The next thing that I want to do is I want to go to security, and I just want to look through a few of these things. Some of them are checked by default, and that's good. So we'll go to account. Here's where we're going to enable MFA. Down here we have account protection. So what we're going to do is we are going to enable account protection. We're going to say if you try to log in 5 times within 1 minute, we're going to lock the account so that it can't be used. And account protection will be canceled after a predefined period of time. By default, it's 30 minutes. You can change this to be longer. You can change it to be shorter. If we click Manage Protected Accounts, you will see any accounts in here that have been locked and the IP address that tried to manage them if they get locked out. Down here are trusted clients. We'll deal with that a little bit later. But I want to make sure that that's on. I'm going to click Apply. Firewall, we will get into that. That's a whole video to itself. Future content. Protection, here is the auto block for IP addresses. So not only does it lock that account, it will trigger an IP ban. And this is a mother if you accidentally do this. This works really well. You can have an allow list. So if you have a jump box in your organization, which is a box that you log into, and that's how you get around the network, you could allow list that. You can also create block list by default as well. We're going to leave this, let it do its thing. Down here is denial of service protection, so we could turn that on. I'm not as worried about that since it sits behind another firewall that is doing intrusion detection, intrusion prevention, and denial of service protection already. Certificates, we're going to get into that in a future video. Advanced, I'm going to leave this here. The next thing that I want to do is I want to go to login portal. And what I want to do is, you can see right now up here in the web browser, we are viewing this at port 5000. I don't want to use 5000 because that's unencrypted. I want to use port 5001. However, I don't want to use these default ports. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these ports for the lab, and I'm going to change the DSM unencrypted port to 1110, and the encrypted port I'm going to make 1111. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to automatically redirect the HTTP connection to HTTPS. We're going to get into a lot of the other advanced things on this screen. We're going to go ahead and click Save. Now it's going to apply these changes. It's going to restart the web server, and as you're going to see here in just a minute, it's going to redirect us from this 5000 that's up here in the address bar to 192.168.66.117:1111. Now, we might get an error here. We may not. We probably will, I'm thinking, because this is the first time we've viewed this NAS over a, yep, there it is. So this is the first time we've viewed this over a secure TLS certificate encrypted connection, right? And it's telling us your connection is not private. The reason that it's doing that is because we are viewing this over an IP address with a certificate that is, first of all, this is a Synology created certificate for this NAS that is created at that time of installation of the system. And second of all, we're browsing an IP address and not the fully qualified domain name. And a fully qualified domain name would be, something like your NAS dot your domain dot whatever your top level is, .com, .org, .net, name a dot, right? So in this case, once we end up getting this set up completely in the next few videos, it will be lab1525.thisisangrycloud.com or whatever it is I decide to use for the internal domain name, because there'll be a whole series of videos on how to set that infrastructure up as well. For now, we're going to click to proceed to the NAS. We were already logged in, so it's going to go ahead and pass those credentials back off. Here, we're going to dismiss this extended warranty. If you want that extended warranty, make sure you do that. I'm going to say remind me later for the MFA. I don't want to secure my account. Okay, now we are up and running. This is the basic steps. Obviously, not all of the security options have been enabled yet. That is coming in the next series of videos. The last thing I wanted to do is look at the info center for this 1525. So right here, you can see it's got an AMD Ryzen V1500B with 4 cores, each core running at 2.2 gigahertz, and we do have 8 gigs of RAM. So here's that processor, that Ryzen, 2.2 gigahertz, 4 cores, and 8 gigs of RAM. The fan speed is in quiet mode. And right now, this is the basics. This is where we're going to stop. We are going to go over here. We're going to pull up our storage manager, and we're going to see where we're at in that optimization. It's at 2.5% left, 6 hours, 13 minutes. I'm not going to touch this thing again until the disk optimization is done. I hope you enjoyed this. Come back for the next video that we're going to film in this series to help you understand all the things about your Synology and manage these effectively and set them up for yourself, your company, or other clients. All right, that's it for this video. Make sure you come back for more content. Also, make sure that you keep an eye out for our membership site where a lot of the more in-depth things are going to be taught with new videos and even PDF file instructions that will be released monthly. So I'll let you know more about that when it comes about. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok. Those links are down below, along with affiliate links, a Patreon link. And if you need IT consulting, head on over to our website at williehowe.com. Fill out the contact form that's on the front page, and someone will be in touch with you as soon as possible. Once again, I'm Willie. I want to thank you for being here, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.